I do not think that it is truly possible to change someone else's mind or their behavior. I think that ultimately people change their own minds and behaviors. The process by which people change their minds is an internal matter of self-reflection. To be sure, one can inspire someone else, but the choice to change must ultimately be made by that other person. At best, all one can do is inspire self-reflection in other people. But the attempt to directly change someone else's mind through argumentation is essentially futile. The idea that you are or can be a purely causal factor for someone else's change of mind or behavior is erroneous. To use myself as an example, I was not convinced in favor of atheism by anyone else. While it is probably true that environmental factors contributed to me concluding in favor of atheism, that decision was ultimately made on my own part. I did not become an atheist by reading books or engaging in argumentation with people. My move towards atheism was a purely personal choice made through a process of internal deliberation. In truth, it was only after I had already become an atheist that argumentation played any role in it whatsoever, and at such a point, argumentation only functions to reinforce my atheism. It is of course true that many tenets held by various people may have been instilled to them by their parents and various environmental factors. But this is not a case of people changing other people's minds so much as conditioning someone before they have the capacity to meaningfully use their minds to begin with. Such beliefs are soaked up into people when they are young, which is to say precisely when they have not yet fully developed the capacity for self-reflection. This is not how learning actually works. In order for someone to change their mind, they have to actually want to change their minds, or at least be somewhat open to it. True education is a method for stimulating people to change their own minds, not for indoctrinating people in the name of changing their minds. In a way, all true education is self-education in the sense that the person must actually be genuinely interested in learning to begin with. The only way for someone to truly learn something is for them to be inspired to engage in internal deliberation. If someone is genuinely not interested in the topic, they are not going to learn anything or change their mind, no matter how much one lectures at them. From my perspective, the purpose of argumentation is not to change the mind of the person one is arguing with. In fact, the audience of the argument is far more likely to be swayed than the actual arguers. In many cases, argumentation functions as a way for the arguer to reinforce their own position in their own mind. I do not argue because I genuinely think that I'm going to change anyone's mind or behavior. I argue because I derive pleasure from argumentation, and it stimulates me to engage in further internal deliberation so that I can change my own mind. If argumentation does anything, it helps me change my own mind, but I never actually directly change anyone else's mind in the process. How can you argue with that?